So where can you get a full set of tires, an oil change, and some barbecue supplies? Stick around and find out. Hey, this is Lex from Silly Barbecue Life. This weekend, Robert and I are in Ootlewah, Tennessee, which is right outside of Chattanooga, at the Owls Nest BBQ Supply store, which is also Steve Ray's Midnight Oil service station. So he has created an event for today called Smokin Barbecue Days. We were asked to come here to do a demo of pork and brisket with Sweet Meats Meg and Trey Terry. Sean Cosby from Choo Choo Barbecue is also going to do a demo of steak. So stay with us and we're going to find out how these two different competing businesses came about.
Hey, my name is Steve Ray. I own the Owls Nest BBQ Supply and Pro Shop here in Ootlewah, and I want to welcome everybody to the Smokin Barbecue Day here in Ootlewah. This Saturday we have got Smoke Me Silly Barbecue team coming up. We've got Choo Choo Barbecue team coming up. We've got Smokin Sweet Meats barbecue teams coming up. They're all going to be doing demonstrations, pork butt, brisket, and steaks. It's going to be a fantastic Saturday, and it's going to be about one thing. That's two things, isn't it? One thing, barbecue, something that we all have in common. You know, about 4 years ago, I got the idea to sell rubs, and I contacted my friend David Bosca at Butcher Barbecue, and I said, David, do you think I could sell some rubs here at the gas station? He goes, well, we can give it a try. So we got a shipment in, and I couldn't believe how good it sold. People would get their tires rotated, their oil changed, and then they would buy barbecue rubs, and they'd want to talk about barbecue. So I got the idea to turn this sales room that we have here into the barbecue room and give it a name. And so I named it after our competition barbecue team, Owls Nest Barbecue, and added the Supply and Pro Shop. And we filled it up with rubs from all over the country, with pellets. We've got Green Mountain grills now, and we've got all the supplies that anybody who is, even thinking about getting into barbecue, they can get their stuff right here. And so far, it has been fantastic. The community loves it. I love doing it. Plus, it lets me be around something that I really do love, and that's barbecue.
So this weekend, we're cooking a small Wagyu brisket flat, to sort of use in our demonstration this afternoon when we're doing brisket. And we're cooking on this Green Mountain Grill pellet grill. I've never cooked on one of these. It looks like it's moving along. It's only been on how long, Trey?
Hour and 20 minutes.
Hour and 20 minutes. We're at 150 already. So this thing's putting out some heat. We need to slow this thing down. Robert Vanderripe. The lady over here with the camera is my wife, Lex Venegas, and we are the Smoke Me Silly Barbecue team. We've probably cooked anywhere. We don't own a restaurant or anything. This is strictly a hobby for us. We probably cook between 800 and 1,000 pork butts if you count practice and everything else. So we've cooked a lot of pork for sure.
I'm Trey Terry. This is my wife, Meg. We've been cooking for 18 years. I have no idea how many pork butts we've cooked, but
it's probably a lot. One of the reasons I had Trey up here with me is because we're considered the odd couple, because he always disagrees with what I say anyway. So he just has a different way of doing things. A lot of this is very subjective. So after I finish, I'm going to have him give his input, which he'll enjoy to do.
That'll be fun.
Yep. So one of the things that I look for when I'm picking a pork butt out, whether it be at the grocery store or whatever, is I'm looking for fat. I'm sure you've heard it many times, fat is flavor.
So far, so good.
You agree?
Yeah.
That's a rarity.
I agree.
I'm telling you. All right, meat select. Any questions about meat selection? I guess we'll get into the trimming part of this. So for a backyard cook, I don't know that I would trim all that much from here. Because what you want to do is you want to try to have meat surface where your rub can set and adhere to. Rub doesn't set on fat all too well. And you'll see when we season, I will season the fat cap. There are some people said, I'm not going to waste seasoning, but I'll do the fat cap because all that seasoning that renders off of here or anywhere else on the butt will mix with that juice that I put in the wrap. It's like making gravy, I call it. So that's al jus you can use later to put over your pulled pork once you pull it. So what he's going to do, he's going to go and try to inject all throughout the pork butt. And I'm going to talk a little bit on the injection. See, the injection we're using today is a butcher's pork injection. I've used this from day one since I started competing. It's probably one of the only things that stayed constant in my recipes throughout the years. There are some pork butts that will take more injection than others. And this took a lot, actually. Compared to a lot of other competitors, I've always put a lot of injection in. I usually have that 32-ounce Nalgene, and that's for 2 butts, so at least 16 ounces goes into a butt. A large portion of that, and then the excess will go into the bag. And now this, I'll put this in the refrigerator, and it'll stay there till tomorrow, if I were to cook it tomorrow. I like it to sit in the injection overnight. It just has a better flavor for me. Cooked in the backyard for like 3 months because I really wanted to cook brisket. It's one of my favorite meats to cook. In a couple weeks we're doing another contest, and that will be our 250th KCBS contest. That means we've cooked at least 250 briskets, probably more because we've done a lot of practice. He's probably done more briskets at home than I have. He's probably cooked one of the best low-grade choice briskets I've ever had in a long time. And if you want to see that video, check out our YouTube channel, Silly Barbecue Life. We videoed that. So without further ado, we're going to start off with meat selection. So as a competitor, we want to start with the best piece of meat we can start with. I would say good 99% of the competitive cooks cook Wagyus. Today we are cooking a select brisket, which is pretty low on the scale as far as marbling. But if you got the gentleman here with the cowboy hat cooking, it usually turns out pretty good. Like I said during the pork intro, fat is flavor. So we are looking for the most marbling that we can get out of a product.
If anyone's trimmed brisket before, you will see that it's almost like a freezer burn kind of thing. Whatever it is, it's undesirable, and I trim it off. But for backyard, I'm not going to trim a whole lot off. I'm going to trim stuff off that doesn't look like I'd want to eat it.
Also, what I like to do, if you have a pellet grill, one of my favorite things to do, put that on the pellet grill to cook, but on the side, around the sides, put this. Because this fat dripping on that plate
I get your flavor.
Gives it that flavor. If you're familiar with cooking on a drum, the whole premise behind the drum is you have the fat that's dripping on those coals, right? So one of the things that we sort of look at here as well is which way the grain is running.
True. Like here you see it's going this way.
Yep.
So you always cut against the grain once it's done. Now people have to mark that. I don't know why, because when it's done, you can see it. But some people they'll put a little score right across here and square that off so they know that's where they start.
So they know what direction to go. Yep. As far as injection, again, it's up to you whether you want to inject or not. I probably would. I always do because I'm wanting to put as much flavor into this meat as possible. And there's some good products here. You can take a beef broth, an au jus base or a beef base and mix it with that. I think most people, where they screw up brisket is in that last hour and change. Because they either take it off, they're scared because they see a temp that scares them.
Yeah.
Or they think it's got to be done because it's at 200 degrees. It's got to be done. There's no way. Everything I read says 190 or whatever.
Yeah.
The meat's done when the meat's done. You'll be able to feel it and tell. A temp should never tell you it's done. It's always feel. Always.
And it'll be different because he'll cook hot and fast and be done at, who knows, anywhere from
Yeah.
210 to 220. If I'm cooking at 275, mine's going to be 203, whatever. But even then, we're probing just like the pork. I'm probing it to see if it's done.
So this is the Wagyu we cooked earlier, and it looks pretty good.
We wrapped it in
I will
paper.
say, we didn't wrap it in paper. But we've got a smoke ring, a pretty decent smoke ring. And we didn't have it on there long, and we cooked it on a Green Mountain pellet grill. So there you go.
Pellet grill did that?
Pellet grill did that. So going on over meat doneness again, like I said, a brisket's done for me when it probes tender. When I put that probe in there and say, okay, very little resistance, done. Again, don't be afraid. Don't let that damn temperature psych you out, because it will. I've seen it to people over and over.
After you wrap it, put it on. Gotta make sure. After you wrap it, you put it back on the grill. Are you concerned about the temperature? I mean, can you run the temperature up a little bit to get it done faster?
Wait, what did you just say, Steve?
I said, who could eat this?
Just asked a question.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Say it again.
Jason?
After you wrap it, put it back on the grill. Or
Hey, hi, my name is Roger Burrows. I'm the regional executive chef for Roost Chris Steakhouse in the Atlanta area, Tennessee, Atlanta, Alabama, South Carolina area. I just actually enjoyed some of Wagyu brisket smoked here at Steve Ray's Midnight Oil. It was unbelievable. It was done very, very good. I loved it. Fantastic flavor. It's unbelievable, the moisture and the flavor that is in it. The amount of workmanship that went into it is just unbelievable. It's just, you can taste the difference.
Just got done here at the Owls Nest. Awesome place. This is really a fun venue, and luckily I survived cooking with Robert, or at least doing a demo with Robert for my first time. I think everybody learned something. So the brisket turned out fantastic, and I think a lot of it had to do with my hat that Robert made me wear, but yet if I hadn't worn it, it wouldn't have turned out as good as it did, but it was a good brisket.
Ready?
Yep.
Ribbon. Award-winning ribbon. Oh, thank you.
He's always wanting attention.